Hi, so on to something a little new again. I picked it up just yesterday on Steam. It's a game that's been on my wish list for ages, and I noticed it was on sale for like £3 or something. And given that it actually does do VR after a fashion, and given the low price, I thought I'll grab it and give it a go. I'm not a great driving game player by any stretch of the imagination. I've owned plenty of driving games over the years, but I never got that heavily into it. I'm playing this with the Xbox controller on the PC. It's a little annoying. I can't quite get it set up properly, but I'll give it a go. But expect this to not be a great lap
Go, go, go!
by any stretch. I didn't even tell it to go then, it just decided to go on its own. So I've been trying to set up the controller for better steering and things like that, but it's really not great. Whoa, that's not a good start. I just feel, I can't quite decide if it's undersensitive or oversensitive. It feels like it's kind of oversensitive. So this is going to be slow, and apologies to anyone who's really into their driving games and is watching this and is yelling at the screen now, but for those of us who don't really play driving games, it's fun to just come in and blat around. So yeah, I'm obviously playing the VR version of it right now, linked up with my Oculus Quest 2 and Oculus Link and everything. It looks great. It feels comfortable to play. I mean, at the same time, I'm obviously over the past few months really managed to acquire a good degree of VR comfort. But this feels very comfortable. Oh, brake. This wasn't too shabby. I've had a few goes around this in a couple of different cars just to get a feel for the VR side of things, so I'm a little aware of each of the corners. Oh, get back on the track. I did spend a little bit of time playing it normal, not VR, and did get quite frustrated with it. Just in terms of because the steering and the controller and everything is really quite awful. I'm still not finding it great. I'm having to drive very cautiously just to try and steer. I just can't get the degree of control I feel I should have. The steering feels a bit all or nothing. I did do some checking of the forums and everything for this. Tried a couple of different setups for the controller, but nothing really seemed to make much difference. I managed to get it to a point where it handled really insensitively. I was struggling to get around the corners and stuff like that, so I've gone back to the defaults for now. And it feels better in VR. I don't know if it's just because I've got a better sense of where I am. So I feel like I've got an extra degree of control. I can absolutely see that if you had a good driving sim setup, so whoa, that didn't go well. Wheels and pedals and things like that. Sat at a desk with the headset on, I can see that being a great experience. And I have to admit, I mean, I know I spent £3 on this just so I could try it out. I was just intrigued to see what it would be like playing a decent looking driving game in VR. I'm now kind of tempted to pop out and buy a wheel just so I can actually try it. Go on. Just so I can try it how it's probably supposed to be played, because I'm guessing it's not really supposed to be played with a controller. It seems unfair to the game. play it on a controller. I feel like playing a decent flight sim. Playing a really decent flight sim just with a game controller, as opposed to good quality joystick or even full-on pedals and flight yoke, feels unfair to the sim really. You're never going to get the best out of it. And I suspect this is one of those driving games where you're better off with the right equipment. Let's try another couple of laps. I definitely feel like I'm starting to get the hang of it a bit more. Braking is a bit messy. Braking's definitely feeling a little bit on or off still. And this is one of the things with controllers, is when you're using the triggers it kind of feels hard to have some finesse. So I'm finding to try and brake I'm more tapping the trigger lots, sort of almost ABS type braking. Come on, round this, got to get round. The interior of the cars look come on. The interior of the cars look pretty good. I do like it from that point of view. Oh, that sun's so bright. Oh, forgot to brake. I'm gonna get told off for that. Yeah, I got told off for that. I was too busy just kind of glancing around and enjoying the view. I forgot to brake for that. Oh, that was bad. I can see this getting really quite involved and addictive if you had the good setup and you really had a feel for how to actually drive, and then using the headset and everything. You can see actual online races and things like that being real fun. Try and break in this. Bit of power out. There we go. That seemed to work. So there seems to be when you started it up, there was 3 levels you could choose from, which was sort of, I can't remember what they were called, but there was a sort of arcade level, intermediate level, and then the kind of pro level. So I'm on the intermediate level, which I think is fairly realistic handling, but automatic gears. I mean, obviously you can see my avatar, as it were, changing gears and everything, so that's the game managing the gears for me. You can, of course, go to the pro level where you're managing the gears too, but that feels like it'd be a bit too much on the controller. Okay, I might be speaking too soon, but I feel like I'm starting to get a real feel for it now. Certainly an improved feel compared to where I was when I first fired this up a couple of hours back and had a brief go. I haven't been playing this for a couple of hours, I should say. I just dipped in a wee bit earlier just to make sure it ran up fine and everything. Come on, around this corner. And then spent a bit of time trying to find controller config that would work. Right, gotta remember to brake here. There we go, it's a bit better. Yeah, the steering is obviously kind of choppy, steering with a joystick and a controller. That's why I feel an actual wheel would make so much difference. There's all kinds of cars in this as well. I'm not a car person by any stretch of the imagination. I recognise some of the names. None of them are cars that are... bugger. None of them are cars that I personally would get excited about. There's go-karts and things. There's a couple of fun things like the aerial atom, which I do recognise. Sadly for me, as someone who's owned and driven a Mini in some way, shape or form since the late 90s, starting off with a proper good old-fashioned Mini, but now driving one of the newer BMW ones these days. Sadly for me, racing a Mini in this isn't an option, certainly not out of the box anyway. I do notice that there are other cars and car packs and things like that that are paid for DLCs. I don't know if Mini is amongst them. If it is, I could be tempted, especially if it's a pack that has old as well as new Minis. That'd be quite fun. It's about the only time you finally... Whoa! Yeah! Come on! The only time you finally get excited about the actual cars available. There are Formula 1 cars and stuff like that in this as well. Again, if it's on the telly, I will watch some motorsports. I will watch Formula 1 racing, things like that, because I can kind of appreciate the technicalities that are involved in running a race and that. I like watching that, but I'm no fan. Certainly not very knowledgeable about it. Yeah, those cars, they look cool, but they don't excite me. Okay, right, I think I'll do one more. No, don't cut the corner. There we go. I'll do one more lap after this and then call it quits. The more I drive this though, the more I am tempted to actually get a controller that's better suited for this. So yeah, maybe a wheel. Kind of want to get into this now. You can see the appeal. Whoa. What's interesting is although I got the VR headset on and I'm playing it in that, of course, I'm not looking around much, but I also feel like it gives me a much better sense of where the track is, better sense of space. It gives me a better sense of where the track is going next before I get there. I'm not sure I necessarily have a better view than if I was playing 2D, but it just feels like it's advantageous in terms of knowing where I'm going next and positioning myself on the track. So having said that, don't screw this bit up. There we go. That wasn't bad. Right. What I have noticed as well is you can, hello, that's me, change your view, so you can kind of sit with your head out for some reason, but also from behind. This is quite uncomfortable. Although I can see it being kind of fun after a while. This view where presumably I'm strapped to the front of the car, I actually find very comfortable. And weirdly I feel is actually more playable. But from a virtual reality point of view, being in the car makes more sense. But yeah, I quite like this. Then you kind of got a view like this where you're sort of out on the bonnet. Round the corner, round the corner, there we go. Oh, it's down the road. Back in the car. Oh. Get back on the track. There we go. I mean, it feels like it's missing the point to play it like this. That might be the best to end down there yet, mine. Well, yeah, I kind of crashed going into the pits, which is probably a good place to crash. Oops. Let's just sit here and hope nobody noticed. I went past my pits. Okay, anyway, I'm going to call a halt to this here. Trying to find the right button on my controller now. There we go. Yeah, thank you for watching, and as I say, if you're actually into this game or just racing sims in general and things like that, I'm really sorry if you sat through this and watched it all. I'm not a racing person, but it was fun to try for £3 and experience the VR side of things. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.